Hi, today I will be talking about a problem that is being faced by so many industries, by many industries across the country and across the globe. And that is the problem of a spare part being short in supply or a spare part not being available. In such a scenario wherein the machinery that uses that spare part breaks down or comes to a standstill, how does one maintain good customer relations while covering up for the shortage of supply? The most common response or the most prompt and immediate response that would come to the minds of the executives and the heads would be to serve the clients on first come first basis. Any client who is able to assert his or her requirement as urgent and important through might is right, shouting and creating much a hullabaloo would perhaps be the first one or be among the first ones to be served. But this is a very faulty course of action to be adopted when we want to maintain our business going in a good upward rising graph, and also when we want to maintain good client relationships. Then what is the strategy that one should adopt? One should have a different strategy for the private sector and for the government sector. Let's look at what one can do while servicing clients in such situations of shortages. The first thing that should be considered is the work volume, the output volume, and the possibility of receiving new business from a particular company or organization in the private sector. Whichever entity rates high, lands up higher on this list, should be the one that should be serviced first. Now let's look at the government sector. In the government sector, there are certain departments that are very important. For example, the head of the entire department, the chief minister, the finance minister. These are important portfolios. So they always occupy the place of priority when it comes to getting the very short in supply spare part. Sometimes one even has to consider whether the piece of machinery that would come to a standstill or has come to a standstill because the spare part is not working or is not available and needs to be changed, provides services to many departments, is one of the pieces of machinery from the general pool. Then the work for many departments would come to a standstill and it would raise quite a hullabaloo within that government setup. So that machine definitely needs to be serviced first. There are certain other portfolios within that government setup that are not so important, or perhaps they do not require that volume of output at that particular time. So from those pieces of machinery, that spare part can be taken out and can be provided to those machines within the same government setup that have come to a standstill. And those clients or customers who have not yet received a spare part, they should be given some intimation about the likely deadline around which they would receive the spare part, and the responsibility or the onus for spare part not being available should be attached to certain factors outside the control of the dealership and the main organization. For example, there is a huge rise in demand for shipping containers, and that is why our raw materials or our parts are not getting imported or they are not getting dispatched from another part of the world. One should never say that this spare part is faulty and it is breaking down across the country, suddenly increasing the requirement for this spare part, because this will reflect badly on the image of the company, and the customer may end up losing his or her trust in the company, and more business or business could be lost. I have talked more about these strategies of maintaining good customer relations, especially during such trying times, in a blog, the link to which I have shared in the description box. Please find time to read that, and thank you for watching.